inside the original objects, right? Someone told that if we want to do some changes in the data, right? In the Navision, we used to comment out the code. So for that question, I was reading that question. For that question in Business Central, I think some is handled event handling. If it is enabled for that particular thing, then you can do some changes. Otherwise, you cannot. So I think Chintu should have would have pasted a link for that. Just go and check that link, and then maybe you'll get your answer. So customer, suppose in Business Central, we have the customer table, item table. We cannot write code inside the original table, right? It's not allowed. So what we will do, what we have the option, we can create extensions. If extension, they are just like plugs. We can plug them onto the original object. We can plug them out if we do not want them. They are just additional codes that we write to satisfy our business requirements, right? So table extension works for tables. Page extension works for page. Whatever the object is, that particular extension works for that particular object. So what are the objective for this module? So for no such much objectives, we have what is the table extension and that what are the properties. So first of all, what is a table extension? We are just discussing that only. That it is used to extend existing tables in D365 Business Central. So if we have customer table and we want some more fields onto it, we can extend it, right? We can add the new fields, but cannot delete or change existing fields. This is not allowed, not at all allowed. We can add the new fields, but we cannot delete or change existing fields. So someone was saying, can we disable the fields? So we can hide them, right? We can make their visibility. We can change their visibility, but we cannot delete or change the existing fields. Okay. Now there are certain table properties that cannot be modified. So it's not like that we have some properties of table and in the table extension, we can modify all the properties. It's very limited. So there are only certain properties that we can change in the table extension. Okay. And then there's another property that we can create new secondary keys, but cannot modify the primary key. Okay. So it is not possible. We cannot modify the primary key, but we can create new secondary keys. Now, this is how we write table extension. So we write the object name. The object name is table extension, then the ID, then the name, and then we have this keyword extends. So this keyword extends actually helps us to understand, okay, this is a table extension. And then we write which table we are extending. So we just have to write the name or we can write the ID of the table, anything, right? And then we start the curly braces. These are the curly braces starting and ending. And then inside this, we write what fields we want to add into our table extension, what keys we want to add into our table extension, right? So here you can see the fields that we are adding. We write field like that, ID, name, and the data type is the same as we wrote in table, right? So this is how we write table extension. If I want to show you, yeah, so this is how we write table and this is how we can write table extension. So the same one bigger box is there and inside this we write at the top the table extension properties. Then after that we write fields. Fields also have some properties and triggers. Then we write the table extension keys. Then we write the field group. If we want to have any, then we write the global variables, triggers, and procedures at the bottom. Okay, so this is how we write code for table extension. Now, when we look at the table properties, we can only change some of the table properties. So these are the properties that we can change. If you want to see what are the properties, then just go to the table extension and press control space. You would be able to see what are the properties that you can change. And the same goes for the field properties. So there are not all the properties that we can change. We can change only some of the properties. So table properties, we can change the caption, caption ML, we can change the data caption fields, right? The description. And in the field, we can change the caption, caption ML, the width, right? And the description option, caption ML. So someone was saying that can we reduce the length? So actually we tried that, but it was not happening. So what I'll suggest you, just try that, try with this with property. And check who are the members there or what are the permissions for these groups. Means personalizing means to hide or add or show. Also advice on the cloud launch, also how you can connect your business, that it is opening a different URL. Changes are done, successfully compiled, successfully published. See, we have extended our business central application. This dialog box was not part of the generic business central application. We have extended it, right? It's done. But whenever we are publishing our application, the URL that we are providing, it's different. It should not be like this. So it means that we have to do some configuration. And from where we can do the configuration, first of all, let me copy this URL. It means I want to go to this URL, and then we have to go to the admin console. This is the admin console, right? I told you, I showed you that. And here we have the instances. So let me open a configuration for our instance, that is BC190. And here you will see that many of the options are there. So in the client services, let me do some changes in the client services. So you can see the web client base URL here is the one that we were redirecting onto. See, we were redirecting to the same URL, right? ms-dyn7046, right? But we do not want to go here. We want to go to the local host one. So what we will do, we'll click on edit. And Control A, delete everything, Control V. So this is the URL that we are interested into, right? We are concerned for. So I'll just click on save. The new settings value will not take effect until you stop and restart the service. So we can do that. No problem in that. So what we will do, we will go to BC190, this Microsoft Dynamics 365 console root, and we'll select our instance, not from here, from here, right? And what we can do, we can restart the service. So it takes some time, not too much time, but yeah, it takes some time, like 1 minute something, and then it will restart our service. So no new changes would there be in our Business Central instance. I hope whatever I have told you till now, you're understanding it. And if you are not understanding it, then you can throw your questions in the Q&A chat window. Right? So we are here to answer questions. I am here, Chintu is here. We can answer any of your questions. You can write that there, okay? Now we have restarted our service. Let me open it again. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, so let me just change something in here. Publish hello world by 360 by post. So we all are D365 course team, right?